This is ContactTalkRadio.com. Consciousness in action. And you are taking action into your consciousness by tuning into Contact Talk Radio.
And on TuneIn.com, Hing.fm, and UpSnap Mobile.
Contact Talk Radio.
You're listening to Dear Venus with your host, Venus Andrecht.
Hey, hi everybody. It's a gorgeous March day, March 26, 2013. And today's topic, how an artist sees and lives life. This can be any kind of artist, any creative person, not just a painter. And this may be you or any hope to be creative person. We're going to talk about how to bring out your creativity. I'll tell you a bit more about it, the topic, as we get started here. But first of all, got a phone number to give you because every Tuesday when I'm live on air, I'm alive most of the rest of the time too, by the way. Just clear that up. You can reach me. You can call me on air and talk to me about your problems, your issues. I'm a medium. I talk to the dead. I also talk to the living. I'm a good empath and telepath. I can tell you what people are thinking and feeling about you, what they really mean, what's going on. I send out good energy, good mojos to help change things for the better, etc., etc. So, let me give you a little testimonial, and then I'll give you that number. A lady named Elizabeth sent me a note, and she thanked me for what I did for her a year ago. Regard looking for a job. We were working in a private phone session. I do a lot of phone sessions. And apparently I had said to her about some job, don't jump fast, don't jump into something just because it looks good or just because it seems good. I'm not sure what I was talking about there, but she said she listens to me. I did what you said, and I turned down a job that looked right, and 4 months later, the perfect job appeared. It's less work for more money and more peace of mind. I'm really happy here. And I do remember talking to her again after she got that job, and yeah, she just was a cat in hay. She felt so good because everything was so much better. So thank you for that, Elizabeth. And here's the phone number, 1-877-230-3062, 1-877-230-3062, all countries. If you can't get through, keep trying. And also, every time I work with somebody on the line at the radio station or through the station, and they hang up, there's a line free, so jump on it, hop on it. So we're going to talk about this topic now. All right, I was reading a book. It's called On Looking, 11 Walks with Expert Eyes by Alexandra Horowitz. And I really enjoyed it. She took walks around New York City and other places with different experts in different walks of life, including her little kid, to prove that everybody sees differently. She can take the same walk. She sees what she sees. She goes with an expert in some field or other, and it's totally, totally different. And I enjoyed the book, and one I especially enjoyed was the chapter about a lady, an artist named, I hope I'm saying her name right, Moira Kalman. I will spell it. M-O-I-R-A, Kalman, K-A-L-M-A-N. And I've known about this artist for a while. She does really what I consider trippy stuff, you know, drawings, and then she colors them, paints them, and she just is a very interesting person. You can look her up online. But I'm going to be talking about her and reading some excerpts from the book and commenting on them. But I was thinking about this morning, you know, I'm coming from an artist viewpoint because I am one. And I was thinking about another artist friend of mine, Regina, and she is so observant. She notices everything. It must drive her mad. Nothing gets by that girl. And I'm the same way, but I don't think to the extent that she is. And the first time I realized this, it was many, many years ago. I was probably in my 30s, and I was flying back from somewhere on an airplane. I'd been with a group of people, business I was in, multi-level networking. And there was a woman on the plane near me who I had known for a number of years in this business anyway. Out of a bag, I took something I had purchased on the trip. And I remember it was a small silk blouse for me. And I remember sitting there, and I just went over and over it, and I felt it, and I looked at it, and I smelled it, and I looked at its little buttons, and I noticed the weave, and I turned it this way and that, and I was just so happy. I was so enjoying it. I was so pleased. This went on for a long time, and this woman looked over at me, and she said, I have never known anybody to get as much joy as you do out of very small things. She says, you always do this. That was news to me, but I started thinking about it, and I realized, yeah, it's true. I do. I notice things, and I get joy out of things people don't even notice, like that little blouse. Somebody else would just buy it and put it on, wear it, or whatever. Oh, not me. I probably went through the whole thing every time I put the blouse on. But anyway, so then I started wondering about that, and I'd remembered how my mother had always said about me as a little kid when I first came in, born, whatever. Said you were always very observant. You just sat and observed everything. And I still do that today. I'm very observant. I watch people, places, things. I observe. And, it does me well in the business I'm in here, working with people, because I have to be very observant. I have to pick up on things. I have to notice your innermost parts and what's going on with you and things about you. And I find myself, I've always done this, just sitting and just staring at people. I'll stare, and I catch myself, and I go, oops, I didn't mean to do that. I don't want to make them uncomfortable, but I'm just interested and curious. And I have to be very careful about it, because I've noticed that when I'm staring at somebody, like once in a grocery store line, I was staring at a teenager, a guy with horrible skin. I mean, those kinds of pustules all over and red swellings. I was fascinated. Well, I stared, and by golly, I broke out with them all myself. I said, whoa, I can't be doing this. I have to be really careful what I do stare at and observe. And I would imagine that a lot of you are the same way. I know a lot of you that listen to my show are very sensitive. You're probably a lot like me. You're probably very artistic in one way or another, because I'm talking about many forms of artistry. Musicians, singers, writers, dancers, painters, woodmakers, people who can put things together. I mean, there's all kinds of creativity. But I'm just going to look at a few things in this book here about Moria Kalman. And she said, the chapter starts out where she wrote, if you are ever bored or blue, stand on the street corner for half an hour. And the lady who wrote the book said that she did that. She stood with Kalman, my friend, in celebrating the ordinary in a number of street corners for many minutes. We even stopped and sat on a bench at the medium of two intersections for a solid 35 minutes. She says, and I'll be darned if I didn't grow less blue by the second. And she goes on to say that Moria Kalman is an illustrator. Her gouached, fantastical drawings are widely published, torn out of magazines and newspapers, and taped up on office doors and walls. And she collects the ordinary things that you trip over but have forgotten to look at. For example, her portrait of a pair of scissors has them planted jocularly, if scissors can be jocular, across a red background. They are not just any scissors, but that's the rub. They were just any scissors to begin with. What changed them, or the cakes, tape dispensers, bottles, and lunch trays she's drawn, is that Kalman has looked at them, set them just so, and made us look too. So she sees things that a lot of people just don't see. You see scissors, and you see scissors, and maybe you notice, and maybe you don't, but she's not like that. And the writer goes on to say, the artist seems to retain something of the child's visual strategy, how to look at the world before knowing or without thinking about the name or function of everything that catches the eye. An infant treats objects with an unprejudiced equivalence. Nothing's of more intrinsic worth than another. To the child as to the artist, everything is relevant, little is unseen. And think about when you were a little kid. Everything was brand new, and you'd look at something, and it's fascinating. And I find with kids and with cats and dogs, same thing. They like the cheap stuff. They'll prefer a rubber band or a piece of cardboard or a little box or anything. I mean, I've gotten my grandkids fancy things and my cats, dogs, you get them, you pay all this money for these whirligigs and they just ignore them and they'll go climb in the box and peek out the end and have a wonderful time. And one of Carl's, my cat's favorite toys was he loved a Nordstrom's bag that I brought home months ago, and I left the tissue paper in it, set it down to throw it out. My God, that was his favorite toy. He loved to get in there and bound around inside that thing. So once you look at what seems ordinary long enough, this woman says, it often turns odd and unfamiliar. Something to think about. As any child repeatedly saying his own name aloud learns. Well, I had never done that, so after I read that part in the book, I started saying my name over and over and over and over and over to see if it would become unknown to me or disordinary or unfamiliar. You might try it later. Don't do it now, I'm talking. Stop that. Okay, so they're walking down the blocks, and what this writer notices is that she's beelining down the block, but the artist is loitering. She's busy seeing things. And a German biologist made note. He said the best way to find out that no two humans see the same thing or have the same world view is to have yourself led through unknown territory by someone familiar with it. Your guide unerringly follows a path that you cannot see. And the writer goes on, following Kalman's path, I was led straight to a discarded couch on the sidewalk. She spied it and just about leapt out of her skin with excitement. I have to tell you, this sounds like me. I get excited over the darndest things, and people cannot figure it out. But the artist said, oh, my God. She said, that's like the bonanza of bonanza. There it is. It's a sofa on the street. I can't believe it. And the writer, who's all too familiar with twice-weekly trash piles on the city sidewalks, just shook her head up. She was like, what's the big deal? She said, but the artist loved it for the boldness of its naked arrival on the curb. She pulled out a small digital camera and snapped a photo, continuing to intone, one cushion is extra bonanza. We walked along, carrying the sofa with us in Kalman's camera, where it would join her collection of photos of spent and discarded chairs and sofas. Once you start looking, she said, they are everywhere. She means chairs and couches and stuff like that. We next had thrust ourselves off the corner. The real magic of the walk happened then, when we stopped standing there and began to actually amble. With Kalman walking around the block, we entered a fourth dimension. With Kalman, the definition of the space changed. She walked straight off the sidewalks. I don't mean she floated. She veered. She abandoned the course. She left the route and wandered into buildings that interested her. Off the course of 5 blocks in 2 hours, we went off course a dozen times. We knocked on the door of the local halfway house. We meandered into a church. We went into a basement senior center that advertised itself as being specifically for black social workers, of which we were neither. We made it into the anterooms of an odd small museum of Russian art and a Buddhist temple. Eventually, we made it from point A to B, but not before visiting all of the letters of the alphabet. And also, what this artist did was she talked to everybody wherever she went. She talked to people on the street. She'd go into buildings and just go in and start talking to people who were quite surprised. But she made it her business to talk to people and find out about people. And the writer says, Kalman's boldness was matched by my admitted discomfort. She wasn't used to all this talking to everybody. But anyway, it goes on with how Kalman, the artist, saw things. She would go over and grab a leaf off a tree, or she would follow a band of ivy to see where it went and open a gate to see where it went farther. And she saw a box on a church. It said poor box, but there was no box there. She took a picture of that. Of course, we all know that it means a box to put money in for the poor, but there was no box there, so it was a poor box in her mind. After a while, this woman said she was beginning to see what Kalman saw. She did not see a space as defined by an edge, but as an infinitely explorable openness. The church may seem to be about religion, but for her it was about music and company and freedom of allegiances. The senior center might seem to be for seniors, defined by its name to exclude us, 2 non-senior, non-social workers, but its doors were open, and that was all it took for Kalman to wander in. Take a left turn where you ordinarily take a right. Open the gate to the block garden you have never visited. View the passerby as a person who is waiting for you to speak to him. So are you starting to see that this is how an artist sees, and an artist ambles, and an artist walks and does things? There's a lot more to it, but I think that'll get you started, and you might even start thinking how other creative people see things, or different kinds of people, different kinds of work or jobs see things. Everybody sees differently. They're not all seeing like you see or like I see. So it gives you something to think about. And if you can practice some of this, I think you're going to find that your creativity opens up, that more of you comes up from inside, and you open up. I see like this thing opening up within us, like a tunnel from bottom to end and out the top, and it opens up things to drop into us from the ethers of the universe or whatever you want to say. And also if you're alert and aware and always observing, I know with me, I pick up everybody's thoughts and their lives, and I take them in, and I was going to say it's helpful, but I'm not sure it is. It's all different kinds of things, but take this and just start thinking. Let your mind jump from there. Before we go for break, it's almost break time. It's break time, I think. I just was reading something I thought was very interesting. Because you know me, I'm a medium. I talk to the dead, so I have a curiosity about such things. I read this in the newspaper under last words, and this was said by convicted killer Christopher Scott Emmett, born 1972, died 2008. He said this just before his execution in Virginia by lethal injection. He said, "Tell my family and friends I love them. Tell the governor he just lost my vote. Y'all hurry this along. I'm dying to get out of here." Wasn't that cool? That at the moment of death, when most of us might be screaming and yelling and wetting our pants, he was saying something like that. That was pretty cool. All right, let's just take a few moments here. We're going to have a short break. I'm going to come back, and I'm going to take your calls. See what you're up to. Venus Andrecht with the Dear Venus Show.
Do you love and benefit from the good energy mojos that Venus has on her website? Do you sometimes feel it when she tosses mojos to you on her radio show? If so, you will extra like her paintings and wall switches, because as Venus paints, she fills her work with powerful, good energy mojos. Venus says, when you have these on your walls, your home or workplace is always filled with good mojo to help things in your life go better for you. When you purchase this very popular art from Venus, she also puts a personal mojo in the piece just for you. You can see and purchase all this great energy art on artmojos.com. That's artmojos.com. Intentionally bring more power of the universe into your life. Many people say that Venus's paintings are always working for them. Let them work for you too.
Some people tell me they listen to my archive radio shows at night because I put them to sleep. When I complain, they say, "Oh, it's the sound of your voice, Venus. I love it because it relaxes me." Well, okay, that's good then. You can find all my archive shows on iTunes, Pinterest, and YouTube. To find my live and other archive shows, please go to my website, godisalwayshappy.com, and look under radio on my site. That's godisalwayshappy.com. And sleep tight. Don't let those bed bugs bite.
Want to win a phone reading with Venus? Venus announces a new winner's name every Tuesday on her Dear Venus show. It's easy to get in the possible winner's pot. Go to her website and look for the blue headphones. Click on them, and you'll get a free MP3 mojo from Venus called No Matter What Happens, Everything Is Always Okay. People say Venus's Mojos bring many good results into their lives. Clicking on the blue headphones puts you on Venus's latest mailing list, where she draws the names for free readings. If you have never clicked on the blue headphones, you're not on the current list. Venus's website is godisalwayshappy.com. That's godisalwayshappy.com. And while you're there, look for more MP3 Mojos that you can purchase for a nominal price. You'll be surprised at the happy results they may bring into your life. Are you ready to stop suffering over men? Are you seriously ready to be happy? Are you ready to have a great love life? Venus finally found the answers for an emotionally happy love life. She wrote the 5-star book about how you, too, can change your life with certain men, or even certain women. In it, you'll read the horrifying and funny true stories of Venus's former love life, and the true tales of many of her friends and clients, and how they all finally escaped the crying, whining, moaning, emotional trap to find real love and happiness. The ebook is titled Certain Men, How to Unlove Them, Unneed Them, and Replace Them with a Good Guy. It works with certain women, too. People say this book has saved their lives. You can read the first chapter on Venus's website, godisalwayshappy.com. You can find Certain Men as an inexpensive ebook at all the online bookstores. Certain Men. Are you ready to give them the boot? Are you ready for good love? Certain Men, the ebook by Venus Andrecht, now available at all online bookstores.
You're listening to Dear Venus with your host, Venus Andrecht.
Welcome back. All right, I'm going to be taking your calls in a few minutes. But before we go there, let me tell you about next Tuesday's show. That's April 2nd, 2013. I call it Brought Back to Life After Hours of Being Dead. This is hours, folks, not just a little 5 or 10 minute drift there. Brought back to life after hours of being dead. I'm also going to read you from the newspaper a local news story around here about a deputy who was shot and saw Jesus. And it's in all the papers and all the TV, and I thought, I can't remember if they've ever had a story like this that they talked about. So I'll read you that too, because I thought it was pretty interesting. And my blog is coming out tomorrow, March 27th, 2013. And I call it A Dog Celebrates Easter. It's a little vignette from my childhood, Easter, an odd little story. Are you surprised that it would be an odd little story? And to find my blog, it's godisalwayshappy.com/blog, godisalwayshappy.com/blog. And you can subscribe to the feed on any article page, RSS feed. I think it's in orange, and you'll get it automatically every week. One more thing, I'm on Google+. You can find me now on Google Plus because Facebook's not always so reliable with me anymore. Google Plus, look for Venus Andrecht, all lowercase, ANDRECHT. So, let's go out here and see what's going on with you. All right, let's go with Shar, Chicago, Illinois. Hello, Shar.
Hi, Venus. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing much better, thank you.
You're so welcome. Well, what's happening to you today?
Oh, my goodness. My job. I'm under a lot of stress there. I had a coworker that threatened my life when I was, on the job and had a witness there. She was my charge nurse, and she's kind of like the unit bully. She bullies everyone.
Yeah.
So she threatened me, and the witness heard her. And I reported it. I had my supervisor to tell me, you know what, just report it because someone needs to stand up to her and not let her continue to do this. So as I reported it, it went all through the processes of human resources, all the way as high as the vice president of human resources. And from what she said, she should have been fired because it's workplace violence and threats.
Right.
She wasn't. She's still acting as my charge nurse, and not only that, she still continues to harass me. She's even turned the nurses on the unit, they didn't like me anyway, but she's told them lies and said I talked about them and reporting them, so now they're giving me a hard time, and I have no support, and I'm under a lot of stress trying to work and deal with all of this that's going on, and I still have to report to her because she's my superior. So I don't know. I was hoping maybe you could read her mind and find out what's going on with her. Maybe you could send some good mojo to the job or something where they could just back off.
Okay, and you're a nurse here, right?
I'm a nurse, yes.
And I've talked to you before, haven't I?
Yes, that's why I said I'm doing better. You talked to me before about my daughter, and she.
Yes, that's what I'm remembering about your daughter was involved with the demonology or something, and
yes,
I'm afraid to ask.
I've been meaning to email you, and I've just been so stressed out with this job that I didn't get a chance to tell you that after that she's doing a lot better. She goes to church now.
Wow.
She's doing a lot better. I got some holy water from my boyfriend because he's Catholic, and I sprinkled that around. And what I just did is I took courage and just destroyed everything of hers that I found from witchcraft. Because I'm the mother, I'm not going to be afraid. And I destroyed it. And she didn't even bring it up. She didn't even say, "Hey, did you take this or did you touch this?" She's been a lot better.
Well, that's amazing. And
she's still with the boyfriend, though.
Well, we have to move them apart, don't we?
Yes.
Yes. Well, just for the listeners out there, for those of you who heard Shar, I had to go and look at her daughter and the boyfriend, and I was really not wanting to because I felt demons and such. Mm-hmm. And as I remember, I told you different things that you needed to do, you had to do to break this up. Mm-hmm. So if you could write that up and email it to me, I always like to have testimonials. But
absolutely.
I'm glad to hear that things went well. That's great. All right, but now you got another problem. You've got this boss. What's the first name of the boss?
Her name is Gwen.
And is she a big lady?
Yeah.
Is she? Well, I don't want to ask that.
It's okay.
Okay, I think I got her though. And she is just bullying you, harassing you. What kind of things does she say to you?
Well, what she said that made me report her was she was ranting and raving about nurses. She's very manipulative and controlling, and she's been trying to control me for a while. And I just
is she a nurse too? Is she a nurse?
She's the charge nurse.
Okay, so go on.
So she was ripping and raving about other nurses and assignments, and I was sitting at the desk as she was talking, and she says, I'm going to, set people straight, and that goes for you too. And I turned around and says, I didn't say anything. She went off like she was demon-possessed. She threatened to kick my A. She cursed me out and continued. And she was about to get up and come at me. And we worked for their babies.
Does she have any gold in her teeth?
She wears false teeth.
Okay, because I was just drawn to her teeth. I see some gold, something. I'm just getting just thoughts about her. You certainly have your troubles, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let me see what we can do with Gwen here. Excuse me. Okay, Shar, I'm going to go into you first of all. Okay, there we are. Now I'm going to go find Gwen. Oh boy. You send me into the most scary people.
Wow. She's that bad?
Okay, Gwen, can I talk to you, please? I'm just here to help. I just like to help people. That's all I'm doing. I'm not going to hurt you in any way. I'd like to know how you feel about your job and the people you work with. I want your take on it, Gwen. Can I please have your take on it? Okay, well, she's going off on me. She's going off about this and that, just yelling. I really can't understand what she's saying. I'm trying to get it. It's like it doesn't even make sense what she's yelling about. What are you so angry about, Gwen? I'm just here to help you. Why are you so angry? I'm here to understand if I can. She says, I'm angry with my life. I'm doing work I didn't want to do. I didn't want to be here. I didn't want to do this. I'm not appreciated. It's not the life I wanted. She seems to think that people are prejudiced against her. Is she some nationality or color that would be prejudiced against?
She's African American like myself.
That's okay. That's what I wanted to ask you at first, and I thought, no, that doesn't sound good. I don't want people to think I'm prejudiced because I'm not. But I kept getting off her that she was black, very black, and that because of that, she thinks that people are prejudiced against her. So, Venus, I just got to learn to just say it, even if it's not tactful, because that's the only way you can get the work done.
Right,
but that's what she's feeling, okay? So I'm trying to be kind with her because obviously there's something in her life that set this off where she was really damaged. that she picked up, or maybe she was mistreated, ill-treated. I mean, there's always reasons why we do things and why we are the way we are, and I try not to judge anybody, but sometimes it's hard not to like them, or it's hard to like them. Let me put it that way.
Well, you're right, because she said in her early years of nursing, she was discriminated against Caucasian nurses, but then she turns around and discriminates against me, and I'm pretty much a younger nurse because I'm new to the field. And
are you white?
I'm African American.
Okay.
Yeah. And
so now it's anybody counts. It's no holds barred. Okay.
Mm-hmm. And I work among predominantly Filipino race.
Okay.
And I don't know if it's racially derived or if it's just territorial, but they're very negative.
Who is the rest of them?
So the ones I work with, some of them are very negative toward me.
Okay.
So she kind of piggybacked.
We have a lot going on here, don't we?
And it's because I'm new. I'm the newest nurse. Every nurse that has come there, they chase out. So I'm the newest nurse that stayed for a year in the last 10 years.
Okay, Char. Let me just pull myself together here. All right. I don't know how you handle it. I've only been here a few minutes, and already my heart's jumping around, and I'm exhausted.
I do praying.
Yeah. Okay.
Meditation.
Just give me a minute here. I got to work through some stuff here. It's like a lot going on. It's like there's a lot of stuff just flying around through the air where you work. I mean, things you don't see vibrationally.
Absolutely.
I feel like I'm being hit from all sides just stepping into this.
Yes.
And so, again, I'm serious. My heart started going flip-flop, flip-flop.
Mine is too right now.
Is it? Okay. Jesus. Jesus. I don't want us to both drop dead here. No, it's the energies, and I'm real super sensitive, and things affect my heart, and obviously you are too.
Yes, I wear crystals too at work.
And so I just stepped into this mess, and I can feel everything hitting me, that's hitting you, that's hitting all of you. Nobody's happy there. It's like a war zone. But what I'm hearing is it feels like these ladies that work here, all these people, are not all of them, but a lot of them, they feel that they have to be competitive. They have to be one up. They have to fight for their territory. They have to. It's like somewhere within their upbringing, their cultures, whatever, their life experiences, they learned that they had to kick ass in order to get anywhere they wanted to be.
Yeah.
Okay? It's what they grew up with, so it's not like we can say they're horrible people. It's not that. It's just that's all they know. Okay, let me stand back a minute because I need to get myself together here. I can't help you if I'm ready to fall off the couch in a dead swoon. Okay, I'm talking to beings here. What can we do? Here? Okay, I'm going to have them send energy because it's really too hard on me. And
I have some tough situations for you, Venus.
Bye. Yeah, you certainly do.
Oh my goodness.
You must be pretty darn tough yourself to withstand all this.
I must be. You make me feel really good about myself because I look a lot younger than I am, and people are always navigating toward me. I really feel I'm a light worker where I try to bring love and happiness wherever I go, but it was stressing me out. I don't drink or smoke or anything, but
well, maybe you should start.
I can't. I just can't. The only thing I do, I drink red wine. I do drink that on occasion. That's drinking.
Honey, that's drinking. That's good.
But it is stressing. It's very hard. And I need the job because I said I was a single mom, and I have my girls.
Yeah, I know. Okay, let me do this. I'm going to ask the beings to step in here and help. I could go into Gwen. You know how I am, and I can say things and do things, and I can pull all my little magical stuff. But you know what? That woman is too hard on me, and if my heart's going out, I ain't going there. So, I'm talking to beings, and everybody out there, I throw good energies and good mojos, so I'm sure whatever the beings throw, they always throw only good stuff. So if you need any of whatever's thrown, all of you out there, take it. You too, Char. Okay, so what they're saying is they're going to throw some white energy on your situation at work, on this poor lady, Gwen. I think of her as a poor lady, because what a horrible life,
Yeah.
And all the rest of them, and you too, you're all poor ladies dealing with difficult situations in the best way you all know how to do. Okay, here we go. Bam, 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 woo, 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 bam, bam, woo, 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 woo. It's like I heard they're lifting him up, lifting him up. Gwen got a huge shot of all this starry kind of silver energy all through her body.
That's what I saw.
Well, good for you.
Wow,
quite a time
so awesome.
here, aren't we?
Yeah.
Wow. And I'm sitting here pounding my chest. And then we threw off some to the other ladies, and you too, of course. Zoom, bam, woo, woo, woo. A lot of rosy pink, that's love energy. Woo, woo. Now I'm going to send it out to everybody. Woo, 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 woo. Boom, 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 boom. All good energy. It's all been cleaned up and sent out to all of you in the radio land, whether you're archived or live. And it's clean when it comes in, of course. But what I'm saying is some people worried they might get some stuff off somebody else. No, it doesn't work like that. All right, Char, I think I've done plenty. I got to get out of that situation and get myself back together.
Oh, yes.
But
thank you so much.
Let me know what happens there and write me up something for the other thing. That was very interesting.
I definitely
Thanks, darling.
will. Thank you, Venus.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, well, guess what, folks? I'm going to take a minute and get a drink of water and take a short break. Venus Antract with the Dear Venus Show.
Attention business owners and entrepreneurs. Are you looking for help with your online marketing? Or do you need a beautifully designed custom website that you can edit yourself at an affordable price? Contact Heather at StudioThirdEye.com. She will make it happen for you online. From website design, branding, social media, to getting found on the internet. You can reach Heather at StudioThirdEye.com. Heather's professional and fair and has many happy clients from small and mid-sized businesses. Find her at StudioThirdEye.com. That's Studio, ThirdEye.com. Or you can email intuitiveinternet@gmail.com and tell her what you need to accomplish. Heather will make it easy for you.
Hi, I'm Venus's daughter, Summer McStravick, and as they say, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. That's why I think you might enjoy my podcast, Flow Dreaming. It airs live on Tuesday, right before Venus's show, or you can find it on iTunes or at my website, flowdreaming.com. I work with energy and I look in people's lives just like Venus, except I call what I do flow dreaming, and I teach other people to manifest and create in their lives using this flow energy too. So I hope you'll check out my podcast, Flow Dreaming, on iTunes, CTR, or at flowdreaming.com.
Venus thinks the world needs cheering up. Let me tell you, her blog certainly does that. Every week it's a true story about her life and the people in it. Here are a few comments. Oh, thank you. I am laughing so hard. Every Wednesday it's great to start my day like this. And love, love, love to read your blogs. You always make my day. I have emailed your blogs onto many people this year. And your blogs are profound, prophetic, and wise. They make me laugh and cry and everything in between. And, okay, Venus, I almost spewed coffee out of my nose reading this one. Too funny. By the way, her family subscribes to her blog for their own protection. You can subscribe too. Just look for the orange-colored feed at the top of the blog. You can find the latest and often harrowing adventures in Venus's life at godisalwayshappy.com/blog. That's godisalwayshappy.com/blog.
You're listening to Dear Venus with your host, Venus Andrecht.
Hi there. Oh, let's see. Am I back together yet? I hope so. I was going to mention the mojos. You know, you can get that free mojo on my webpage, my website, godisalwayshappy.com. Look for the blue headphones. The Mojo is called No Matter What Happens, Everything is Always Okay. You can play it over and over and over, and do you know if you like it? I have other Mojos on site for sale for a nominal price. And I get a lot of emails and testimonials about how the Mojos work. And they have music and all the song and dance that I don't do when I'm throwing stuff out. But I just thought I'd mention a couple little Mojo testimonials. Venus, my offer on the house was accepted. Thanks for your Mojo. And another person said, thanks for your mother's love Mojo. I think she must have bought that one online. My boyfriend is now speaking to me again. Well, I'm glad to hear that. Also, I've got the Juicy News. You know about my Juicy News newsletter? What I mainly do is write up true stories about people I work with on the phone readings. I always get their permission, by the way. And one just came out today, and another section will come out tomorrow. I mean, I have 2 mailing lists. I'm trying to get rid of the old mailing list and get you on the new one. And the way you get on the newest mailing list is you go click on the blue headphone place and you get the MP3. You also get on the latest mailing list, and that puts you in the pot to possibly win a free 10-minute phone reading with me. And I give one away every week. But first of all, the Juicy News, it came out today, and it's titled Woman Spends Thousands of Dollars on a Man. But he was so cute. It's a story about a lady I've been working with for a while. It's kind of a fun story. And, yeah, I think the Juicy News is pretty popular, so you might want to sign up to get that on my website, just with the blue headphones. And let's see. Oh, I guess you won a winner today. Every Tuesday, I pull a winner from that pot I told you about in the most current mailing list. And you get a free 10-minute session with me. So I do this once a week, and I announce it on my radio show. And the winner today is... Oh, I'll make you wait a minute. I'm going to read you a testimonial from that. Let's see. I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I have been such a fan since the first time I heard you. To think, the day I was trying to get through on your radio line to talk to you and I couldn't, you picked me to have a free 10-minute phone reading with you. I want to thank you for choosing me and helping me with your positive vibes and mojos. We spoke back in January. I finally heard back from blank about getting back to work on April 1st. I have been waiting for this since November. I love you. You are so very much loved by me, etc., etc. Wonderful things she said about me. Thank you very much. I think we talked about getting this place to contact her for work, and looks like they did so. But anyway, that was an odd thing. She was trying desperately to get on the radio with me. Couldn't get through, but that day her name was called, and she was just flummoxed about that. She got the free reading. Okay, free reading today, 10-minute free phone reading with me. All the horns, bells, and whistles. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Emmanuel Smith. E-M-A-N-U-E-L. Emmanuel Smith. Emmanuel, contact me soon because this offer is void and null after 4/1/2013. You can reach me through my website, godisalwayshappy.com, or email me at venus@venusandrek.com. So let's get back here to the board and see what we've got going. Let's go with, how about Amy in Wisconsin? Hello, Amy.
Hello.
Hi, darling. How are you?
Oh, Venus. Hi, I'm good.
Good. Yes, it's me. You called me, Venus.
Yes. And I just want to say, I want to thank you for all you do, not only for me today, but for the rest of the people.
Oh, Amy, that is so sweet of you. Thank you.
I think it's so healing.
Well, for all of us, probably. I really enjoy the work I do, and it makes me so happy when good things happen for you all.
Yeah, boy. God bless you, Venus.
Well, thank you so much. And that reminds me, I got a letter the other day from a lady named Anna, and she sent me $50 for no reason except she said for all the help I'd given her through the years. I don't have her in my database. I've never worked with her. She must be from just listening to me on the radio, and she tithed me $50. Wasn't that cool?
That is so cool.
I was so happy, and I wrote her a note and thanked her, and I said, what I'm going to do with it is I'm going to take a friend of mine to lunch, and we're going to have a really nice lunch and wine, and we're going to toast Anna. I think that's the best thing I can do with $50. So, Amy, let's get back to you. What's happening in your life? What do we need to look at?
Well, I have a lot of great things personally happening, but I have a little sister.
Okay.
And my little sister's name is Maggie. And
Maggie? Is it Maggie?
Maggie.
Maggie, okay.
Maggie. And, you know, we kind of had a falling out. I guess it was actually a couple years ago, which is okay because, you know, I told her no and she didn't like that. So, but to give you a little background on her, she had a couple kids, and her kids kind of abandoned her many years ago when she decided to remarry her husband.
Mm-hmm.
I know that they have been separated once, and then they got back together again. And at any rate, she has slowly but surely also, I thought it was just me she was disassociating from, but she has totally disconnected, like from the family, not just me.
Is she still connected with the husband? Is she still with him?
Well, this is what I want to know. Nobody knows. Nobody seems to know. She won't contact anybody. She won't return phone calls. She won't email. Mm-hmm. And I'm just now getting really concerned because it's a total disconnect.
Okay.
And I don't know, you know, I'm concerned about her physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually.
Yeah, how old is she?
She is about 48.
And the husband's name, if she still has him?
Rick.
And what state or town does she live in, or both?
Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Okay. Do you know what kind of work she does?
Well, he has a business in tree trimming, woodwork. Okay. And he kind of helps with that.
With him.
I guess.
Okay. All right. Let me get started, Amy. So how old are you?
I am 51.
Okay. Let me run through you here. Amy. I just did a quick run through. Woo! Zoomed around in your head in a circle. All right. And I'm going to look for Maggie. Little sister Maggie. She got her feelings hurt. I think maybe with you, when you told her no about whatever it was, she got her feelings hurt. I feel her like you're kind of sniffing her nose a bit, and she feels like other people in the family have hurt her feelings. And she feels like nobody appreciates her, they don't love her. She gets her feelings hurt easily. Was she always like that?
No.
No, that's what I'm feeling now. If I got the right Maggie, I usually am pretty good at getting the right person.
If she easily got her feelings hurt, it wasn't apparent to us. You know, she may have been a little arrogant, but I didn't take it as having her feelings hurt. Okay, I don't know. Maybe I misread that.
Well, and she may have changed, too.
Yeah.
So, let me get back. Her husband's name again?
Rick.
I want to make sure. I'll go to him and see if I can make a better connection with her if I haven't made it right. Okay, Rick. Okay, back to Maggie. It's almost like she seems younger than she is. Almost childlike. Could she be having maybe mental problems, emotional problems? Have you ever wondered? I think anybody
it's a concern of mine. I think in the past she has had episodes of bipolar, or something like that, maybe during a pregnancy.
Okay.
Highs and lows.
So maybe I'm getting her at a certain high or low or some other part. It just feels like she's regressing somehow. And I would say, just being logical, that anybody who gets her family, kids, everybody out of her life, there's something not right. And
I know, and I'm really concerned.
But she's blaming other people for this. It's like, biting her own nose to spite her face, one of those things, holding back, just feeling sorry for herself. Well, they can all go rot if that's how they're going to treat me. She's got it in her head that everybody has treated her badly, whether that's true or not. So, I'm trying to...
Dearly loved, and nobody would hurt her, intentionally.
This is just in her mind. And I'm trying to understand if it's just in her mind, it's something emotionally wrong with her, or if she has a husband who's given her to think this, or pressures her to think this, so he has her all to himself. I mean, that's a possibility too. Does anybody know the husband or what kind of person he is?
Very little. I do know that he was married before, and I know that when they split up, he had a restraining order put against him, and he was not a nice guy at all. And I know that he drinks, and I'm concerned about, this type of environment that she's in.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm getting too. It's all very confusing, and I think she's confused. Is there any way somebody could go back and just find her, look her up physically?
Well, we're thinking about sticking our nieces on her. She may talk to them, but, she may be very concerned,
well, I think somebody,
or,
I think somebody needs to do it. It's like, the way we are in this country, maybe the world, is somebody has cancer, we're right there with the flowers and the cookies, but if we have a mental illness or there's problems between the husband and the wife, we tend to stay out of things. And yet it's all a sickness.
There comes a time when you just want to allow people to have their space.
Yeah,
but
I know.
This has gone on too long.
I think you're right. I think it's time that somebody went to find out what the real story is. And if there's a problem, see what you can do. And if there's not, and this is what she wants and how it's going to be, well, then you know that, and you just have to let it go. But I just feel the things I said, nothing's clear cut. Like, I don't just feel like yada yada, like the last call I had, man. Like, I had that nailed right off.
Right.
But this one is nebulous. This woman, this situation.
Will she let us come in? Will she let somebody come in? And if so, who would that be?
Let me ask her. Maggie, would you like to see your nieces? Would you like to see some family? Would you like to see anybody? Talk to somebody? She's just thinking about it. She just is it's like she's so wrapped up in her own head that I think it's really hard for me to get through. I think you just have to try it and find out what happens.
Okay.
Sorry, I can't be more specific. I just can't be, and I can't make it up. So
that's okay.
I'm left feeling about as puzzled as you are. So I would say if it were me, I'd be lickety-splitting over there or somebody to find out what the heck is going on.
Really? Okay.
And then let me know.
Well, I don't know if she's going to allow us in or if she's going to be willing to open the door or what, but,
Yeah, well, let's do this. Let's put some good energy on it, and we'll do it for everybody out there. Let me see, what kind of energy should we do here? I'm talking to beings now. But the best workout for all concerned, that if Maggie needs help, wants help, should have help, let it happen. Let it flow. Let them all know what to do. Let everybody know what to do. Let all the right chips fall into the right places for this woman to get the help she needs or wants. Let everything work out for the best. Bam, bam! Bam, bam! Woo, 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 woo! Bam, 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 bam! Also putting a lot of that energy through Maggie's head to help her clear out and think better. It came like a cone of energy up from her feet, shot right out and swirled around in her head. Okay, well, Amy, thanks for the call. I wish I could have done more for you.
Well, this is exactly what I needed to know, so I feel very informed.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yep.
Thanks, Amy.
All right, thank you.
Bye. Well, interesting. I don't understand how this whole business works. This whole reading business, like I do. It's like the first one I had that woman right on, I just didn't say everything at first because I was trying to be tactful and not politically incorrect. But I had it, man, right on. With this one, it was like so hard. I just couldn't get a hold of her, What is that all about? I don't understand it. I don't, but I just do the best I can. And I was talking to Barb, the producer, at one of the breaks, and she was saying something about a lot of people are all excited about this great big moon tomorrow. We're having a huge moon. I said, I didn't hear anything about that. I knew the moon was void of course today, but I didn't know anything about the big moon and people getting all nervous and excited and upset. I don't know what moon that is, and I don't know what's going on, but I can only tell you that ever since I had my epiphany, since I had my Kundalini go up, and some of you don't know what I'm talking about, you can find out about it on my website if you really hunt around for it, like where the CDs are about God is always happy. I think I explain everything in through there somewhere. But I accidentally had my Kundalini go up, and I was like probably a couple of months I was in ecstasy, and I didn't know what the heck was going on. I was just in ecstasy, honey. And I realized then I was totally outside of astrology. Astrology no longer affected me. And I've come back with that idea. I don't know if it does or not, but it feels like I can just step out from under it whenever I want to. When it's the good stuff, I'll take it. When it's not, I pay no attention. Well, it looks like I gotta go because time is up, but I'll be back here next week. Come on and join me. Venus Andirect with the Dear Venus Show. Love you. Bye.